Okay, let's start. So, um, welcome everyone. We are here for the vision board workshop. If everyone can just switch on their cameras, it'll be great. It'll be more interactive. I am Alisha Dutt. I am a spiritual life coach and a healer, and I've been practicing for the last almost a decade now. And today I want to talk about vision board, what it is, and what does it actually mean when it comes to creating a vision board and actually um, making it work for you, right? Like energetically speaking, one is we create a vision board, right? And the second is the vision board actually works out for you. It becomes real, right? All the things that you put on it, all the things that you visualize actually become 3D for you, right? Become a reality for you. So for that, there are going to be two parts to this workshop, okay? The first one will be about how you become the version of the person who actually manifests everything on the vision board. And the second part will be more about how to create a vision board, what a vision board is, what are the colors that we can use, different things that we can use to actually make it more alive, right? So, with that, let's start with the first part of the workshop, okay? The first part is all about creating an identity of who you are when you are manifesting what you want on the vision board. Okay. So I wanted to ask all of you, when was the last time that you dreamed without guilt, right? Without any ifs or buts, right? Without thinking what is possible and what is not, and what would people say, right? Without all those questions, when was the last time that you truly dreamed of getting something that you want, right? When does anybody want to say anything? And if you all can switch on your cameras, it'll be great. It'll be more interactive. If you don't want to say, just think, right? Give yourself a few moments to think about when was the last time you actually, truly, without any filters, thought about this, any dream that you wanted. Sorry, there are some requests coming. Yeah. Like, if you think of little children, right? Have you seen how truly they are able to dream freely? Like, if you ask them what they want, they tell you 100 things, right? They tell you everything that they want. They want a doll, and then they want, shoes, and then they want clothes, and then everything, right? And they don't have a filter in that sense, right? However, when slowly you start growing up, there is a conditioning, right? Or so called reality kicks in, and you stop dreaming, right? And you feel like anything you think about, there would be disappointment. Or when you're growing up, you see your parents a certain way, and you see your environment in a certain way, and then you start feeling like everything that's coming to you has to come through a filter, right? And the way you think, maybe it's not how it works. There are certain conditions out there. There are people, the environment that you're in, it has to be a certain way. Only then, you might get something. You have so many things that you start to think, right? And so what happens as you start growing up, your dreams become limited, right? You start to um, limit even your thinking, and you start to feel like there is only so much you can get, and you can't even dream beyond a certain point, because then you'll be disappointed, right? So in order to stop yourself from feeling any of those negative emotions, you actually limit the way you dream as well, right? And you see how even in our vision board, which we'll talk about, I mean, we are talking about the vision board throughout, but when we talk about the visual, the things of putting pictures and what we want on that, even that comes through so many filters, right? it's is it even something that you truly want, right? Or the second thing is this just the beginning of what you want, or you think that this is the only thing that you deserve? You see, sometimes our dreams are borrowed, right? We look at the media, we look at people, we look at our family, right? And we keep borrowing those dreams from people. And we feel that that's the definition of success, right? And so we should also want that. We should also desire that, right? But is that truly your desire? Is that something you want? Sometimes we spend our whole lives without even thinking about what we really want, right? What is our true desire? Why? Because first of all, we are too scared to think about what we want, and secondly, even if we start to think in that direction, we are not sure about, if our desires align with what, society is, or what people say, right? So we kind of just keep borrowing other people's desires and think that this is what we want. We even lie to our own selves, right? So if you see here, there are various layers even to our desires. What do we want? What do we not want? All of that comes from a lot of conditioning that's going on, like since we grow, right? Since we are growing up, there's probably a point in your life, right, till when you had that innocence, right, where things from people didn't really get into your life. And I actually want you to close your eyes and go back to that moment, if possible, right? And think of maybe that Christmas, maybe that birthday, maybe that you know some celebration when you were a little kid, and your desires were unlimited, and somebody asked you to maybe create a list of what you want, and you just kept writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, right? And even if it wasn't an activity of writing, you probably thought about those things. I want you to just close your eyes for a few moments and connect with that child, right? And try and think of all the things that you desired without thinking if it's possible or not. You just knew it's going to happen. If I say it, it'll come to me. Yeah. Maybe some of you will be able to see something, or some of you won't be, right? But the point is that there is a part of us that would dream like that, right? Where the dreams are unlimited. And eventually, when we have done the work, right? And by the end of this workshop, I want you all to be able to tap into that part, and from there, bring your desires in, right? Because that's your true calling. That's what you really, really want, right? For a child, it could be a doll, and for you, it could be peace, right? It could be serenity. It could be love, right? And maybe not that car that you post on the vision board, or it could be, right, or it could just be that car, right? So the thing is not to get into the right or wrong of what you want, but to get to the desire that truly belongs to you, right? And it could be anything. Yeah, so the point is to get to that rather than um copying it, right, or borrowing it, or curtailing our desire, right? That's what we're trying to do here. Okay. Now let's talk about what the universe actually does. What's the core truth about the universe, right? The When you talk about a vision board, we want to manifest whatever we put on the vision board, isn't it? So how does the universe function? The universe doesn't care about what you ask for. It responds to who you are, right? When you ask for it. So if you ask like a king or a queen, you get whatever you want. And if you ask as a beggar, right, like with desperation, you more than likely will not get what you want. Okay. So this is why vision boards sometimes work and sometimes they don't, right? Now, wow, because I don't know if you guys have that experience of building a vision board, right? Or year after year. And many folks actually say this doesn't work, right? This is all just like on the surface. You just paste a few pictures and, it doesn't really work. Of course it doesn't work. Why? For folks who build it with that energy, because when you're creating a vision board, right, what are you doing to become the version who actually has everything on that vision board? You see? So if I am today Anisha, right, and I want many things, and I have this vision board where I have 20 things that I've put on, right? Clearly, this version of Anisha does not have all those things, right? So this Anisha is different. But who is that Anisha who has all those things? That Anisha will not be this Anisha, right? She would have changed. If she has, say, more money, then she has an abundant way of thinking, right? If she has that body that she's looking at, then she probably is very healthy, right? Or whatever it is that I want to manifest, I'm going to also be energetically that way, right? I would have become that way. This means my poverty consciousness is gone, right? If I want to manifest the kind of money I want, but today, I'm not there. Otherwise, I would have had all of that, isn't it? So there is a version of me that I have to create in order to meet that vision board, right? And that's what we're going to talk about here today, which is that your identity needs to shift in order for you to actually manifest the vision board that you want, which is the missing link that people don't talk about when we're talking about building a vision board, when we're talking about, put that, put this, and then this color and that color, without talking about the identity shift that has to happen within, right? And that's the biggest reason why vision boards actually fail, right? So, for example, let me give you a few more examples just so that you understand it better, right? If you want to be a leader, okay, or if you want to be in a leadership position, say in a job, even as an entrepreneur, whatever, right? If you have to give a talk to say 1,000 people, right? And you paste that picture on that vision board, okay, of you talking to people and all of that. Now, if you currently are in a position where you have no boundaries, where you cannot say no to people, right? And you want to be that leader, you see that gap? How will you become that version of a leader where currently you don't even have any boundaries with people, right? People are walking all over you. You are not even able to say no to people when they ask you to do something. So there's definitely that identity gap there, right? Number one. This is one example. Another one would be you want a lot of money. Say you want to manifest $1 million, right? However, right now, the beliefs that you have revolve around feeling unsafe with money, right? For example, when you were growing up, you saw that this is an example. You saw that an uncle of yours who made a lot of money in his business, he was killed for whatever reason, right? Because he was robbed, right? And so now everybody in the family started talking about, if you have a lot of money, then basically this is what happens, right? And the belief you got as a maybe 10-year-old is that a lot of money means you are unsafe, right? So now your belief is that I will not get money, right? However, you're pasting a picture of $1 million on your vision board. So you see, your belief is about feeling unsafe, but you want that money. So what will happen? Even if you get that money, right? Somehow you will end up spending it or you will lose it, right? Or something will happen where you will depart from this money because the belief within is that money is equal to feeling unsafe, right? Another example could be you want to manifest a beautiful, loving relation, loving partner, right? And you paste a picture of that, right? However, uh, growing up, you maybe grew up in a very volatile environment, right? Where your parents were constantly fighting. And for you, the definition of love is equal to fight, right? Or for you, the definition of love is equal to abandonment. Maybe your mother left or maybe your father left, right? And so for you, you feel that love is actually abandonment. That's what you grew up with. And that's a whole another chapter around inner child healing, which, by the way, I have a whole series now on my YouTube channel. So you can go and do the whole 100-day series. um so what will happen now when you get a partner, right? Even if you manifest a partner, you will either end up leaving the partner or the partner will end up leaving you, right? Because for you the definition was all about abandonment, right? So the point is, for you to understand who you are, right? Work on that version, clear those blocks from within, right? So that you can actually fully receive everything you want, be it that love, be it that health, be it that abundance, right? Because till those blocks remain within, even if you get something, you will not be able to keep it. You will not be able to sustain it in your life, right? And I know now the next question would be, how do I work on my blocks and all of that? Uh, I have plenty of resources for all of you, right? Be it Ho'oponopono, be it EFT, be it healing recitation, right? And one of that, I will show you an example. I will be doing an exercise with all of you at the end of the workshop so that you guys have no reason to not work on these blocks on your that you have. First of all, you need to understand what those blocks are. Second is to work on it, and then third would be to build the vision board. And that's why this workshop is so important, for you to understand that just building it, just having the vision board is not going to be enough for you to manifest what you truly want, right? Any questions till now? Yashika, I just saw your message. I asked you to unmute. Yeah.
No, right now I have no questions. At that time, I was about to tell that you asked some question and I wanted to answer. Now I've forgotten.
Okay. Okay. No worries. ठीक है. Let's continue. Um, let's see. Okay. So I hope you all understood till now what's the real reason why vision boards ultimately fail, right? Because there is a disconnect where there is something within us that we are not working on, and sometimes we don't even recognize what those blocks are, and we continue to function in this world, right? Now, um, let's talk about let's see. So, what is the formula, right, that leads to you manifesting what you want on this vision board, right? The first is your identity. You get it? So we are going to work, we are going to actually create like I'll make you create a few columns to understand, whatever you want. And then we'll figure out that identity that we are here to create, okay? So the first one would be your identity. With that identity, you'll create your thoughts, right? So those thoughts will come, for example, your identity is of a person who feels that let's see, maybe you're an insecure person, right? Or maybe you're a person where you feel that you feel unsafe with money. So what will happen? Your thoughts will be around money comes in, but your thoughts will, they'll be on anxious thoughts, right? That, oh my God, will I be able to keep it? What will happen if somebody takes it away? Maybe I shouldn't have got all the money. All of those thoughts will follow, right? Then emotions. What will be the emotional reaction to this? Anxiety, stress, right? Insecurity. All of those emotions will come because you already feel that you don't deserve this money, right? What will be the action that you will take because of that? Maybe you'll end up spending it somewhere. Maybe you'll go somewhere and you'll invest in a place where you lose all the money, right? So the action will basically be that you end up giving it all away. This is an example. It could be so many other ways, right? And then the result will be that you got all this money, you lost it. So again, you have no money, right? Wherever you started from. Or maybe you lost even more money and now you're at a level lower than where you started, right? So what happens? What is the formula? Identity, thoughts, emotions lead to action, which lead to the ultimate result, right? So when we talk about actually having what we truly want in 2026 via our vision boards, it really is all about shifting the identity, right? And for that, you have to actually know who you are, um, and who you have to become. Now, for example, if you are um, taking the lift or an elevator in a particular building, building A, right? You take the elevator, you go from, say, ground floor to 50th floor. Now you have to go to building B, right? Will you be able to go via that elevator, or you'll have to go down and take the other one? right? I mean, there could be a connection, of course, but most probably you will have to take another lift, right? So the point is that wherever you are today in life, there are certain blocks that are leading to the current reality. If you have a particular amount in your bank account, if you have a particular health, if you have a particular relationship, situation in your life, it's because of who you are within, right? When it comes to emotions, when it comes to beliefs, so many things that make up your identity. And you need to understand that if you do not shift that from within, it'll be difficult for you to move from this building to another building, right? Which is what your vision board of 2025 is right in front of you. And for you to move to the vision board of 2026, there needs to be the shift within for you to be able to manifest that, right? So now, for example, you want to manifest a particular um, kind of body, or you want to manifest like a good health, right? Or a particular weight, whatever it is, right? Healthy weight. Now, in order for you to manifest that, what are the things that you would have to do to reach there? You would put a picture on the vision board, right? Of you looking a certain way. Maybe you have this yoga body, or you have this, that, whatever, right? But wouldn't you have to eat clean, right? Wouldn't you have to let go of junk, right? Wouldn't you have to probably maybe go to the gym, right? Maybe do whatever kind of exercise regularly, right? Wouldn't you have to maybe have supplements, whatever, right? Whatever it is that you need to improve your body, you would have to consistently do that, isn't it? In order for you to have that body. So you can put that picture, but if you put in no work, how will that picture show up? So when it comes to health, when it comes to a certain body or whatever it is, we have a lot of points that we talk about, that you have to do this, you have to eat, you have to do that, right? But when it comes to money, when it comes to a relationship, there we don't put those points across, right? Now, for instance, if you want a certain amount of money right now, you don't have it, right? So this means there are certain beliefs. You have a cap, right? Which is not letting more money come in. So this means we need to work on that belief, right? We need to open up. We need to remove that cap, right? We need to um, improve our receiving, right? We have to make it bigger, right? Or if we have certain beliefs that are keeping money away from us, we need to let go of them, right? So, and in a relationship, if it's not working out, whatever it is, we need to take some action. Either we move forward, or we bring in forgiveness, we heal those parts of us, we decide whether we want to be with this person, or we move forward, right? Or we open up, and we surrender, and if we are looking for a relationship, we go out, meet people, right? Talk to people. If you're looking for a job, we apply for a job, right? If you've put like a job that we want in 2026 and we're not even applying, right? Forget about interviews. If the point is, we need to take some action, right? And that action is very important. It's something on a daily basis you need to do. And I'm not even asking you to go and you know um, do actual concrete things. A lot of these actions can be mental. It's actually about showing up for yourself every single day. For example, there was this person, I was talking to, and I was telling them about building a YouTube channel, which, by the way, I was really late to the party. I mean, I've been working, I keep saying this, for almost 11 years now, but just in the last couple of years, I've started building my YouTube channel. So this person was telling me that if you want to commit to even building this channel, right, you want a certain number of followers, this, that, whatever you put on your vision board, the thing is about showing up consistently. So, can you show up daily and create a video every day, like 365 days, right? And not care about what's happening, followers, comments, likes, like, don't care about all of that. Just show up, right? Can you do that? And so that made me think that this is what builds, and this is what puts energy into your vision board. That's what happens, right? So, for example, um when I was starting like my healing journey, even as a healer, I was very at that time, like 11 years ago, I was just passionate. Like I just knew that this is what I want to do. When I quit my job and I was doing it, everybody told me that, what are you even doing, right? You don't even have a certification. What are you going to do with people? And I said, I don't know. I'm just going to, like, I like this. I'm going to connect with people. And if, something happens, I'll see, right? And I just went with it. Um, and of course, later it developed into a business, all of that, and all of that happened. But when I started, I didn't think that way, right? So, what is it that you can do without thinking of getting paid, right? Without thinking of getting bored, right? And something you like so much that will naturally come to you and you just show up. And it can be anything, right? And when you do that, like, this is for folks who don't even know what they want to manifest, right? This is an example for that, because a lot of folks say that they don't know, like, in terms of money, what should they do, where will the money come from. So do something like this, right? And money will follow. Yeah, because the more you run after money, that desperation will actually keep it away from you. And that's true for everything that you put on your vision board. Yeah. So now the next exercise would be, take maybe a couple of minutes. Of course, when you do it like a full-fledged exercise, you'll probably need an hour or so to do it. But this is just for you to understand. And if you have any questions, to ask me now. When you start doing this, later, I would actually urge you to watch the whole workshop and then do everything. Okay, because there'll be instructions here and there. So the next thing would be, um, take make two columns. Okay, one would be all the things that you want, right? So you can actually divide it into various different areas, right? So you can have health, relationship, money, miscellaneous, whatever, right? So different sections, write down things. And then column B would be, what will I do consistently to get this, right? So it could be, like I said, for health and all, you can actually be very concrete about eating this and that and all of that, right? But what about the relationship, right? Will you be kind to yourself, right? What about, actually, being kind to yourself should be like a must on on everything, I would say, because what happens is, when you make your vision board, right? Maybe a week has passed. Now you're in, say, end of Jan. Now you're in Feb. The first few weeks are a little too hyped, right? And everybody's talking about manifestation, this and that. What after that, right? After that, you look at your vision board and you're constantly thinking, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, oh my God. And you constantly go in the negative spiral. And so then what is happening? You're giving that negative energy to this vision board, right? And so gratitude is out of the window, manifestation is out of the window. Now this negativity is something that's growing on it. So you see what's happening. um so that's why actual manifestation of this vision board starts after January, I would say. Because that is when you consistently have to show up. It doesn't even, these dates don't even matter, right? And when I say show up for yourself 365 days, I mean, when you come up with that energy that this is something I have to do now, it could be going to the gym, it could be thinking positively, by the way. And when you start doing that, right? Like, self care, putting time in every day, I will do this, right? And you're maybe meditating, I don't know, you're going for a walk, whatever it is that calls to you, and you commit to it. Change can happen in a day, change can happen in a week, and it doesn't have to be by the end of the year you'll see change, right? But the thing is about the commitment. When that energy of commitment comes in, then your vision board starts to become alive. Then maybe you are committing to um some sort of thoughts, right, for maybe manifesting a relationship, but you'll see other things also start uh, prospering, right? And other things also start coming true in your life based on whatever you put on your vision board, right? Why? Because the desperation is out of the way. You are focused on your action. You are focused on, I have to do this. And so you're not really thinking, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, I couldn't get this, I couldn't get that, because you're focused on your work, right? So things start to move that way energetically. You get my point? So this Exercise is where you will be actually able to create like that identity shift for yourself, right? So column A would be what I want, column B would be what will I do consistently for it. Yeah, because consistency will be the magic, right? Then that motivation and all of that will not be required because you are committed. Yeah. Any questions before we move forward? No? Okay, great. So, like I said, go with what you truly want. Do not borrow your dreams. Yeah. Which means you look at your loved ones, you look at Instagram, right? You look at stars, and you start to think that that's how a relationship should be. Yeah. You start to think that's how a career should be, right? What will happen is if you borrow your dreams from other folks, right? See, if I had borrowed my, of course, I was inspired by a lot of folks, right? But actually, when I started my journey in Zaria Healings as a healer, I really didn't have many folks to look up to, right? As like a career or like as a person who was, thriving or as even as a business. I had no folks to look up to actually. I had friends, I had mentors who would push, who would support me, who would guide me, tell me that, this is something you can do. But it was still a question mark as to what it would become, right? But I understand that now we have so much information out there that it's very easy to get influenced, right? That, oh, let me do this, oh, let me do that, even to become an influencer, right? Let me try this. But like I said, there is no right or wrong. But if it's not your true desire, you won't be able to sustain it. You know, you'll do it for a year, you'll do it for a couple of years, but then it'll fizzle out because you don't really love it, right? And but when it comes from your heart, like there was this example of my mentor. Uh, I mean, he was sharing it, and he said that there was this whole family, right, of lawyers and all of that, and everybody was like forced to become a lawyer in the family, right? And so this friend of his was also becoming a. I mean, he had studied whatever law, but he didn't want to do that, right? He in his heart he wanted to be an artist, right? But of course, there was so much pressure to be a certain way. But my mentor actually mentored him and told him that you have to follow what you want to do because you won't be able to sustain this, right? There'll be a time where you'll crash and burn. So then he followed that path and he became an artist. And today he is like thriving, and not just thriving in his home, but he's also at peace. He's one of the few folks who's at peace at home because others are following something that they thought they should, and they probably don't even like it, they don't even know why they're doing that, right? And they are frustrated, right? And that frustration will come up, you know today, tomorrow, maybe after a decade, but it'll catch up. So it's best that we stop ignoring our true desires, right? And if you're thinking, oh, but I don't even know, I don't even know anyone, like, for me, like it was, I didn't care if there was another healer or not, right? I loved it so much, I wanted to do it, right? And when you get that energy for something, there is no way that you will not thrive, right? The universe will actually support it. The universe supports a stubborn heart, right? So you need to know what you're becoming stubborn about, and you will only be stubborn about that you truly love, because otherwise you lose interest, you won't care beyond a point, right? So that's also very important for you um to follow your heart in that sense. And for that, I know for some folks, it's difficult to even know what your heart wants, and that's where all of this work, uh, there are so many modalities out there, right? Ho'oponopono, like I said, go to my YouTube, and everything is free. The resources are abundant, right? It's about your choice to choose it, to understand who you are, and then go on that track, right? Right, like I said, information is out there, but you need to choose what you're following, right? Now the other thing is that, also remember, when universe is sending you signals, right, to also be able to gauge what you want and what you don't, right? Many a times, universe, God, whatever you believe in, they are trying to help us, right? Move in a certain direction, but we are not able to see it. I'm sure you all know that story of, there was this flood, and there was this one devotee who really trusted and believed in God. And when this flood happened and everybody was getting rescued, and this person was also being, he was on the top of his home, and some, like, there was a boat that came to rescue him, and he said, no, God will save me. And so then that boat went away, and then the last kind of boat was left, and everything was submerged in water. He was on the tip of that, drowning. And then the last boat came, right, to pick him up, and he said, no, you guys go, God will help me, right? And then, of course, he died, and then he went up, and he met God. And God, and he was complaining that, God, why didn't you come to save me, right? And then God said that all of that was me, right? So God will probably, he might, or God might just appear in front of you, but there'll be people, right? There'll be situations, there'll be miracles all around you that will support you, that will help you, that will push you in the direction of your dream, right? So take that help, right? Don't get that rigid. Be flexible, be open, right? To receiving all sorts of help. And um build your dream accordingly, instead of being in isolation and thinking that you can do it all on your own, which many folks can. But that's also a form of control trauma, right? When we grow up with a situation which is very chaotic, all around us, we develop this idea of control, and we start feeling like we need to control everything, otherwise everything will be chaotic. So that's also a trauma response, right? So work on these things. First acknowledge that you have it, then see how it's becoming a block to what you want to manifest. Then work on it with all these tools that I mentioned, right? And once it's gone, then you're open to receiving everything on your vision board. Yeah. So does that make sense? All right. So again, remember the two columns that I talked about. If you want to write a book, right, and you're putting that picture on your vision board, what is that action? What is that micro action that you're taking? Are you writing a page every day, right? Every dream of yours that you're putting up on your vision board needs to have small daily actions, right? And that daily action could just be your prayer, you know? It could just be you, like I said, being kind to yourself. By the way, this is a big thing, right? Or you going for a walk, or you, doing your meditation, whatever. It can be anything. It can be a very small thing, or it could be about going to the gym, or eating healthy, or watching a particular video every day, right? Anything, like if you're training in something. So it could be anything, and you need to commit to that. That's the real test. And when I say commit to that, means every day. That's where the magic lies. Okay. All right. So now let's move to the second part. Any questions? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Anisha, how do we, so it's like there are people like me who want everything in life, and by God's grace, lucky enough that God gives them everything. But then there are stages to achieve one thing first and the second later.
Yeah.
Being very direct with my question, what I'm trying to say is that I'm always confused between starting my online thing and my government job. And somewhere down the line, I want both.
Yeah.
I know I want both, and so does my chart also says that you have to have a government job. It's very easy for you. You'll be able to do it. But somehow I've not been able to work on it till now. On both
Yeah.
of them, I've been
Yeah.
studying or I've been gaining knowledge, but not taking enough action to achieve either of it. So how do I understand what is my calling in both, because I can focus on one thing at one time. But when I focus on one thing, I feel I'm losing on the other. When I focus on this, I think I'm losing on this one. And I'm struggling with this silly thing since 5 years. not reaching anywhere. Although in life also many other things are happening, many other things are happening, but
Yeah.
it's really a great concern. As in, so how do we should we take steps to achieve both? Should we how do we plan it as per the vision board?
So see, you want those things, so you write those things, right? You want that government job, you want that, say your business also, right? However, now you see that you're not able to take consistent action. So what is that? That could be success intolerance, right? That could be self sabotage, right? That could be your inner child, right? Where you probably saw that you wanted a lot of things, but you can only get one. Whatever that inner child belief is, right? Or that could be a lot of mm, money blocks where your receiving is blocked because you want it but you can only work on one, right? And so obviously if you can only work on one, you cannot get the other one. I mean, that's your belief. So there are so many blocks that you already identified here, right? I want you to write those things down. It doesn't have to be that I know I've diagnosed myself and I know these are the beliefs, of course not, right? But whatever you can think of, you write those things down, right? Then the next step would be take Ho'oponopono, or I'm going to do some recitations at the end of the workshop. Take those statements, right? Work on those statements and clear those receiving blocks, right? That's the intention first, because what's happening is there are so many blocks, there are so many beliefs that maybe there is a belief I don't deserve good things, right? Maybe there's a belief I don't deserve to thrive, right? When you kind of clear that out, then it'll become very easy for you to take action towards this also and that also. But till then, those blocks will make you frustrated. You want it, but you are not working towards it. This back and forth will keep happening. And that's what mostly happens with vision boards, right? We we want all of it, but energetically we're not aligned with it, right? And so what's happening is the universe, now you are asking for, say, these two jobs or two streams of income, okay? But your energy is of maybe fear, or your energy is of, but I'm not putting in my best. So what's happening is the universe is not looking at what you've put on your vision board. The universe is looking at your alignment and your energy, right? He is looking at the version of Yashika who is emitting vibes, and that's what it's matching. Your vibes are confused, so it's giving you more confusion, right? So what do we need to do? We need to work on the alignment, we need to work on the clarity, and we need to be absolutely sure, 100% sure about what we want. Then the universe looks at you, and the energy it gets is she is 100% sure, she is a go-getter, she has no doubt. And so it doesn't matter what you've put on your vision board, you'll get it. You see how it works? So we need to work on this doubt. We need to work on this. I don't want to work on it, though I want it, but I don't want it, right? So when you want to go to the gym, but you're not able to go to the gym, it's not about you being a bad person, right? It's about there is some flux, there is some belief within you that is not letting you um believe that you deserve to look good, or you deserve the attention, or you deserve maybe the love, whatever it is, right? So we need to work on that. Once that happens, then you'll be motivated to go to the gym, right? Then you'll be motivated to eat good. But if it's not happening, let's not get into the blame game, let's get into the reason behind it, right? And work on it. That's what the then for you, your daily showing up for yourself will be doing that work. Do you get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that column that I was talking about, that's essential, right? For all of us who are watching even later on YouTube, that spend even a day if you want, spend more time. I don't care how much time you spend, right? Maybe the whole of January you spend on creating that this is what I want, right? And this is what I'm going to do for it. But if I can't, but if I'm not able to do it, right? Then maybe column 3 would be, what do I think is the problem here, right? Is it that I don't believe that I deserve good things? Is it that when I was a kid, I did not get that toy, and so now I think that I can't get anything else, right? Whatever, like, kind of do a deep dive into what are your beliefs. If you don't want to get into all of that, just work on your beliefs. Write your like contradictory beliefs here. Then pick up one modality, right? Anything. Work on clearing and healing those beliefs. Because once this happens, then column A will manifest on its own. That's the block, right? And that's the work that I do, right? With one on one, with people, whatever, group work, to work on those beliefs. Because ultimately, what you want, you'll get clarity also and you'll manifest also. But first, you need to work on yourself. And that's something that we completely miss out on, right? So, does that make sense? Another one? Yeah.
Um, does this column is specific to short-term goals, or is it something that I would want 25 years down the line, or is it that the blocks would remain the same? So if I work on the blocks, everything
No,
will go on according.
I would say think of the year, right? Like just 2026 or maybe a couple of years down the line. Why? Because you don't know. Maybe 2026 version of Yashika is absolutely different. Today she wants one house, right? And maybe after the end of the year, you don't even care about homes anymore. You care about something else. So for you to want something 5 years down the line is too limited, I would say, because you don't even know what you want after, at the end of the year. So for now, just just try to think about the coming year or maybe a couple of years from now, because you don't even know what your dreams would, how they'll rapidly change. Once maybe if you heal your, suppose somebody has a receiving wound and they end up manifesting all the money next year, then they don't even have that in their vision board in the next time. Maybe they don't even care about it, they are on another journey now, right? So why limit ourselves like that, right? So I would say think about maybe the next year or two, and then keep yourself open to unlimited possibilities, right? Yeah, yeah. Any other questions? Okay, so now let's talk about a vision board. Okay, because now that you know what's the secret behind manifesting what you want in your vision board, now let's talk about the nitty gritties of how to create it. I was thinking of giving you guys time. Do you guys need that time to actually work on it today in the workshop, or you can do it later, right? I just want to like kind of go through it. If we have 5 minutes, we can also work on that. Okay. Now, of course, it is a visual representation of your future identity. That's how I would say what a vision board is, right? So, for instance, if I have this vision board right here, and I have all the things that I want in it, and it says 2026. So this means this is the 2026 version, 2026 identity of Anisha. That's how I would see a vision board is, right? As okay. So not just pictures, right? But also emotions and embodiment. That's what it really means when you say that you embody the vision board, right? You become that. And I've told you how you become that, right? And don't worry at all. I'm going to do a statement clearing in the end. So, everybody obviously who is here will get a blessing for the 2026 vision board, and everybody who watches later will also get it. Okay. So, what are the materials you need? Number one is a yellow paper, yellow sheet. Okay. Always create your vision board on a yellow sheet. Okay. A huge one. Like in India, you can get a chart paper. And I feel like here in the US, you get like yellow sheets, smaller sheets that you can actually put together to make a larger vision board. Okay. That, why? Because that color in itself has that power, right? In terms of giving you confidence. It's that energy of solar plexus, right? So it brings about that confidence for you to manifest what you want. Okay. On it, of course, you'll put pictures, right? However, if you want to write something on it, like, some people write affirmations, right? Or you want to write like names, whatever it is that you want, write it with a green pen or a red pen. Okay. Then, what else? Actually, when you have your whole sheet ready, yellow paper, divide it into four quadrants. Okay. Now, you can have one. as your career and money. Okay, in that you put in all your goals around your money. So it could be, what you want to manifest, the amount of money you want to, your investments to grow. You want, want a certain job, you want your business to grow. All of that, those goals you'll put in there. Okay. Next would be your health and body, right? So you want a healthy body, you want your body to look a certain way, you want, whatever it is. If there is something that's bothering you right now, so you say it's already healed, right? So you can obviously always write in the present tense, right? Like this has happened already, right? What else? The next could be relationships. So you want loving relationships, you want, healed relationships, all of that. You want a beautiful partner, whatever it is, in that sense. And then another part could be your miscellaneous. Yeah. There in that miscellaneous, so some folks sometimes say that I want to manifest this for my, say, brother, or, for my family, right? So those things you can write in that section as well. If you want to manifest for your family, right? Like if you're manifesting a family home, something like that. Now, I would suggest in the middle, always put a picture of yourself, right? Because like you are the main um, character of that vision board, right? Of course, if you want to manifest a family, or if you are a family and you're doing it for the family, you can put that picture as well. But that should be the middle one, right? Now, pictures, obviously, you can use AI, right? The more creative you can get in terms of, maybe, if you want a certain car, and you can, use AI to put yourself in that picture and put it, that'll be better, right? The things that you want, if you can have yourself in it, it's better, right? So you can use all sorts of, there are so many free tools available, that makes it more visually appealing, and that also gives your subconscious that signal that, this is true. And now, and it's true, and how that works. But if there are certain beliefs within you that are not letting you believe it's true, you work on that, right? Okay. Now, apart from those things that you're going to put on the vision board, I also suggest that you use miniatures of things that you want. So, for instance, you can create like a beautiful healing space, like, maybe on your table, on your working table, or maybe, on your prayer table, something where you can create, where you can buy miniatures of things you want and put it there, because that also has a beautiful power when it comes to, visualizing. You don't even have to visualize, you see it, right? And it manifests. So you know how, I don't know, architects and all, they build, uh you know the structure before they actually, build it in real life. So those things are very powerful when it comes to your subconscious believing it. So for instance, I don't know, you can get it on Amazon, I think, right? So like if you want a home, you get like a small miniature of a home, right? You want a car, you get a small miniature of that and you put it, right? And nowadays you get like actual, um you know like real looking card miniatures as well, right? So like that, you get at least 3 to 4 miniatures of things you want, and you place it on your table, or wherever you feel like, you want to create like that, manifestation space. That can also be part of your vision board. I mean, of course, vision board is separate, but like your vision board in 3D can also be that. All right. So you do that. What else? Am I missing anything? Any questions? No? Okay. Now, when you're creating this vision board, like I said, even if you think, or even if you're not aware of what blocks you have, right? I would highly, highly recommend that you do the statements at least once, twice, thrice, or maybe for a few days before you start making a vision board. Why? Because sometimes we're not even aware of what, like, what borrowed beliefs we have from folks, right? Or whether or not what we want is truly our desire or not. Like I said earlier, right? If you are putting up maybe a car picture, or a relationship, right? Because of pressure, because of what you think others think is right for you and you're trying to do that, you won't be able to sustain it, is what I'm saying. You might be able to manifest it, right? But you won't be able to sustain it. So it's very important for you to work on known, unknown blocks, right? And then start making this. Like, do I really want this, right? And then go with it. Okay. So go with the heart and not the brain, like not the logic. Okay. When you start using logic, then that's where you pick up things from others, right? When you do it from your heart, it truly comes the way you really truly want it. Okay. Now, once you have created it, okay, you can keep updating it. So don't think that, oh my God, I've created it. The whole point of creating it is to be in a work in progress, right? And you want things to manifest for you. So suppose you put a picture of, I don't know, home, right? And you get it maybe in February, in March. So then remove it, right? Remove it from there or paste another picture on top of it. So don't think about keeping it pristine the way it is. The whole point of it is to be actually empty, right? So keep working on it, keep updating it, maybe every month, every few months, whatever it is, right? And of course, remove whatever you want from it and keep putting new pictures, and that's absolutely fine. Same with your 3D as well, right? What else? Now, once you've created it, okay, now of course, apart from that daily consistent work that you must do, what else do you need to do? You need to stand in front of your vision board every day, at least for a couple of minutes, right? And be grateful, right? Very grateful. Grateful for the fact that your true dreams have come on your vision board, right? Just be grateful for that. Because folks spend their whole life without knowing what their true dream is, right? And here you are, like, you've put it in a 3D form, right? So just be grateful, just say thank you, right? And every time you cross it, so obviously you put it in your bedroom, put it in your wherever you see it every day, right? And every day time you cross it, you say thank you instead of saying, oh my God, I didn't get this. Oh my God, it's been now we are in September and I have still not manifested it. No, that's something that you definitely need to work on. That critical part of you that is constantly criticizing everything, belittling your own self, that you what kind of a person are you? You're not even able to, manifest this. No, that's what we need to change. If you can only work on that critical self for those 365 days in the upcoming year, I would say it's a win. And I would say just by doing that, you'll be able to manifest everything on your vision board. Because most of the times, I don't know, I think there is a book also, and I recently read, heard a podcast also, You Are the Mountain, which basically means that you are the biggest block in your own life. Yeah. So when we get out of the way, when we get out of our own way, things just work out. And now, of course, many folks will say that, but it's not me, it's my parents, it's this, it's that. But you are letting them impact you, right? Everything out there is a choice, isn't it? Like, they can say whatever, you can't stop them from saying things, but you can stop yourself from getting affected, right? And that's that internal work that we all have to do, right? In order to become that version, again, coming back to that identity, who is manifesting uh, what you want. So, that version of me who wanted to manifest my business, if that version was constantly being affected by everybody telling them that this is not the traditional way to make money, right? Because so many folks told me to get a proper job, right? To make money a certain way, to use my degree to, get whatever, a conventional job. And if I had done that, then I wouldn't be here, right? So, who are you becoming to fiercely protect your dreams, right? And then to follow it consistently. That's the version that you have to become to be able to manifest everything that you're right now putting on your 2026 vision board, right? And in order to know what you truly want, I definitely want you all to do a round of healing statements that I'm going to do at the end, so that if there is anything that's truly not yours, gets clear in the process, right? Cool. So should I move forward? Any questions? No. Okay. So, like I said, use AI, use. You can obviously do the traditional way, also cut pictures out of magazines and all. That's absolutely fine. But like I said, if possible, the more you put yourself in that current scenario, the better it is for you to even imagine, to look when you look at it and you feel that resonance, right? Um, Try and not put dates when you're making the vision board. Why? Because then you're limiting yourself, and also there is a lot of desperation that comes with dates, right? When you say, of course, we are putting it for 2026, so there is this date already there, but still don't put specific dates. Why? Because then there is a lot of pressure, and that pressure will make you feel not good about as you reach the date. There'll be so much desperation that things actually run away from us when we are desperate, right? So remove all sorts of dates. Yeah. And think big. And I know it's not always possible, and that's why the work is required. But think big. Nothing is impossible, right? Without any fear. And wherever you put your vision board, right, in a room, wherever it is, right, try and keep that room neat and tidy, right? So, like, try to keep it clutter free. Of course, I talked about keeping your mind clutter free, right, with all the work and consistently showing up, but also the space should be clutter free, right? Because that clutter creates mental noise. So you don't want that. You want to treat it like a pristine uh, project, right, that you respect. So you keep it clean, calm, and intentional, right? And again, this is not a superstition, it's mostly about your nervous system regulation. When you see that clean thing, you feel relaxed and you feel calm, and then that's the signal you give out to the universe, and then that's what you get, right? Perfect. And now I want to talk about energy and emotional anchors. I don't know if you guys saw in the description of this workshop. This is a technique which basically helps you anchor whatever you want in your vision board. Okay. So let me give you an example. So if you, so what we are doing is we are using certain techniques to anchor this good feeling within you, so that every time you look at it, you actually start feeling it, or every time you go through this anchor, you actually feel that emotion within you. Okay. So, for example, you get like a perfume, okay, your favorite perfume, whatever smell, or maybe an itar or whatever it is that you really love. So you bring that, okay, then, or actually I can just do it right now. If you want to bring any perfume that you like, okay, just bring it, and or any smell, right? Mostly perfumes, right? Or oil or whatever. And then close your eyes, okay? Close your eyes and feel the version of yourselves who already has everything on the vision board, 2026 vision board. So you've become the version, your identity has shifted, and you've become that version who has everything on that 2026 vision board. And of course, everything later as well, if you keep changing the vision board, right? Updating it. Now look at yourself, okay, with your eyes closed. How are you walking? How are you breathing? How do you speak when this life is already yours? Mhm. And I want you to smell that perfume, smell that oil, whatever it is. You can smell it at the beginning as well. Smell it at the beginning as well, and then go through this exercise, imagining yourselves as that 2026 version, right? And then smell it again. Yeah. So what we just did there was we connected your brain links that scent or that smell and your emotion faster than logic. So now what we have done is we've anchored this feeling of that 2026 version within you. Okay. So every time you put this perfume on or every time you spray it, right, you will, your brain will take you to this version of your 2026, right? So this is known as an emotional anchor, right? So this is something that you all can do. Once you have created your vision board, you can do this, okay, with a perfume or any beautiful smell that you like, okay. And then every time you use this smell, you will be taken back to that version of your 2026 self, right? Beautiful. What else do I have here? Yeah. So what will actually happen is how you can use this perfume is that every time you feel doubtful, you smell the perfume, right? And you'll feel more, empowered, right? Every time you're feeling lost, you can again use the perfume, right? If you feel disconnected, use it. Feeling low, use it, right? So this is basically the body re-entering the future identity without any effort. There is no logic going on here, right? So this is definitely something you can use throughout your year. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now I want to actually go through the exercise where before ending the workshop, this is the most important part, I feel like. Of course, not every modality I've seen works with everyone. That's true. But I have seen that some modalities are so powerful that you don't even have to believe in it. If it's happening, energetically, if you are open, if there is readiness, it'll work. Right. So with that attitude of just even readiness, even if you can't believe that it something will work for you, I think come with that curiosity and it'll work. Right. So there's a list that I've created for uh actually before this, I want to give you an exercise so that in the end I can do the blessing. Just take a piece of paper if you don't have your vision board ready, and just write down vision board 2026 and sign there, right? Just so that it's kind of a reflection of your vision board, so that at the end I can give a blessing so that it manifests. So take a few, maybe minutes, to write down vision board 2026, write down your name, sign it. You can even take a chit, whatever, right? Just so that you can receive the blessing for your vision board. Okay. And then I'm going to go through statements, healing statements here that I've kind of compiled based on a few years of experience of the major blocks that come up, and you all can do it, and I'm sure you'll resonate with it at some level, right? And even if it's not what you're going through, you can create your own statements. Okay. So all right, so now that you're ready with your thing, let's do the statements. Now you can say these statements once, twice, thrice, however many times, or you can come back to the recording and do the statements, just listen to it. Because sometimes, we're so tired and we don't want to do the statement, and that's fine. So being in the energy is also healing, right? So the first one is lack of self belief, right? Biggest one that comes up when it comes to manifesting your vision board. So my lack of self belief is my soul's love, right? My lack of self belief is my soul's love. You can just say the statement many times till you feel that belief coming in. You can do it every day, right? Next, my unclear intentions is my soul's love. My unclear intentions is my soul's love. Next, my conflicting desires is my soul's love. My conflicting desires is my soul's love. Next, my subconscious fear of success is my soul's love. My subconscious fear of success is my soul's love. My fear of failure is my soul's love. My fear of failure is my soul's love. My low self worth is my soul's love. My low self worth is my soul's love. My inconsistent focus is my soul's love. My inconsistent focus is my soul's love. My emotional attachment to the outcome is my soul's love. My emotional attachment to the outcome is my soul's love. My impatience is my soul's love. My impatience is my soul's love. My doubt after creating the vision board is my soul's love. My doubt after creating the vision board is my soul's love. My old identity patterns is my soul's love. My old identity patterns is my soul's love. My unhealed inner child wounds is my soul's love. My unhealed inner child wounds is my soul's love. My scarcity mindset is my soul's love. My scarcity mindset is my soul's love. My guilt around wanting more is my soul's love. My guilt around wanting more is my soul's love. My fear of visibility is my soul's love. My fear of visibility is my soul's love. My resistance to change is my soul's love. My resistance to change is my soul's love. My not taking aligned action is my soul's love. My not taking aligned action is my soul's love. My expecting instant results is my soul's love. My expecting instant results is my soul's love. My comparing my journey with others is my soul's love. My comparing my journey with others is my soul's love. My energetic clutter is my soul's love. My energetic clutter is my soul's love. Now, here you can do mental clutter, you can do emotional clutter, all different clutter, okay? Kinds of clutter you can do. My lack of embodiment of the desired self is my soul's love. My lack of embodiment of the desired self is my soul's love. My ignoring my intuition is my soul's love. My ignoring my intuition is my soul's love. My broken trust with self is my soul's love. My broken trust with self is my soul's love. My unresolved past disappointments is my soul's love. My unresolved past disappointments is my soul's love. My over intellectualizing manifestation is my soul's love. My over intellectualizing manifestation is my soul's love. My external validation dependence is my soul's love. My external validation dependence is my soul's love. My not feeling safe to receive is my soul's love. My not feeling safe to receive is my soul's love. My ancestral or karmic blocks is my soul's love. My ancestral or karmic blocks is my soul's love. You can do this separately also. My inconsistent emotional state is my soul's love. My inconsistent emotional state is my soul's love. My forgetting to revisit or energize, or I can say, my forgetting to be grateful for my vision board is my soul's love. My forgetting to be grateful for my vision board is my soul's love. Yeah. So these are certain statements that I thought were very pertinent when it comes to the blocks that we have around creating or manifesting a vision board. But of course, feel free to add and be very specific to your issues, your blocks based on those columns that you create and you come up with. And yeah, now we are almost at the end of the workshop. So I actually want you to take a minute to be with your vision board, or for folks later who come up with their vision board, so that you can all receive the blessing now. Okay, or even if you don't have it, just have that intent. Okay, now whatever your vision board will be, you have it in front of you. Okay, and I'm just going to bless all of you so that you can manifest your vision board in 2026, and everything that you want, you get. This is for all of you who are watching. Perfect. All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up for this beautiful workshop. And I hope you all benefit. I hope you all fulfill all your dreams. And yeah, any questions before we end? No? Beautiful. All right. Thank you, folks. See you all around. Bye. The recording will be on my YouTube channel, right? Bye. Take care.